Hello, my name is Maya and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Malagasy heritage here in the United States. I am the leader of an organization called Malagasy Diaspora Descendants of the USA. Now, this centers the heritage of Malagasy descendants through slavery. So today we're going to be talking about DNA and how to know if you are a Malagasy descendant and what makes a person Malagasy. So what makes you a part of the gang? What makes you a Malagasy person? Your DNA has to have Southeast Asian. It has to. There's no question about it. There's no substitute for that. Another DNA marker you do have to have is Southeastern Bantu, either from Kenya, Mozambique, Malawi, South Africa, East Africa. Like, that is where the migration happened to Madagascar. So you have to have Southeastern Bantu on your DNA results to indicate that you are Malagasy. And you do have to have that Southeast Asian DNA, which is Austronesian DNA intertwined with your African DNA. And you will see it on your DNA test. And this is my map. You see you have Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea highlighted, and the tip of Australia. So that is my Austronesian DNA marker. And for East African, I had the Kenya DNA portion highlighted. So yeah. And also, which I will show you guys, my cousin did a paternal DNA test. So he found out where our paternal DNA comes from. On one of my mom's sides, on my grandpa's mother's side, came from Mozambique. And what's cool about that is that I actually come from the Makua people, and the Makua people come from Mozambique, and that is a Makua man right there. And the Makua people actually are the main African DNA in Madagascar. So by way of that, I am Mikea of Madagascar, and Mikea people come from the Makua, and they come from Austronesian people, and also, like pygmy, that's derogatory, so don't say it, pig people who also have like stories in Hawaii. So that is also really cool history. I'll have to upload a video about that later, but that is some really awesome history. So I'm gonna insert a quick clip about Malagasy people.
Madagascar is actually a relatively newly inhabited island. Although evidence of human foraging goes back to about 2000 BC, the earliest settlements occurred only about 380, and they were actually by Austronesian people from the Southeast Asian islands. Over time, Bantu people moved across the Mozambique Channel and mixed in with Austronesian settlers, creating a whole new race known as the Malagasy. This means that the average Malagasy person, to a varying degree, has a genetic haploid structure derived from both sub-Saharan African and Southeast Asian people. This is why Malagasy people look different from mainland Africans and can come with a variety of skin tones. Sometimes when meeting the locals, you might feel like you're more in a Polynesian or Southeast Asian country rather than Africa. Whew! Was that good?
So I want to read you my DNA match for Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. It says this region is Austronesian, and they speak an Austronesian language in the Philippines. Also connected with the ancient Negritos. If you know what the Negritos are, they are an indigenous black group of people from the Philippines. who are non-African, like far removed from Africa for millions of years. The other ethnic groups are the Igorot and other indigenous groups of the Philippines, the Javanese of Indonesia, which I have heritage from, and the Malay groups, and also the Dayak of Indonesia. And the list goes on. There's way too many ethnic groups that connect us. So I'm just gonna skip to the bottom where it says, in recent history, people with Filipino, Indonesian, and Malay ethnic groups have migrated to Madagascar, Guam, and Northern Mariana Islands and have left their genetic mark on these areas as well, like us, okay? And the next DNA match that I got was Papua New Guinea. A lot of Malagasy people have Papuan DNA and Polynesian, Pacific Islander DNA, because Austronesians are one of the biggest foundations of the Pacific Islands, and all the migrations that our ancestors took on the canoe and everything. So it says Papuans are indigenous of Papua New Guinea. And self-explanatory, it says, and this is the connection between, Austronesians, Malagasy people, and Papuans. It says they share some ancestral roots dating back to the earliest inhabitants of the island, in addition to the Austronesian people who migrated to the area several millennia later. So there's that connection. And I also go back to Sahul from my Papuan DNA, back when Sahul was a thing. Sahul is back when Australia and Papua New Guinea were like submerged as one landmass. And I go back to a skeleton called WLH4, which is, I think it's a Mongol woman or a Mongol man from Willandra Lakes, Australia. So that's also really interesting as well, how far the history goes back. And here's something else that's interesting, not really interesting, because I know that Austronesians, we originate from Taiwan, so it's not really a shocker, but we originate from the indigenous inhabitants of Taiwan. In my raw DNA, it says Japan Islands and Taiwan Strait, from the Jamin people. And the Jamin people are the ancestors of the Ainu, and the Ainu are the indigenous people of Japan and other islands. But keep in mind that that is just, in my DNA. It may be in other people's DNA, but you just have to look at it carefully. Now, the Taiwanese people, the indigenous Taiwanese people that we come from, are the Amis, Atayal, Benoon, and Paiwan. I did see Atayal as one of my DNA markers. So, it's so easy for me to go back on my Austronesian DNA. It's so easy because it's so well documented, and DNA is such an amazing tool for this, and also, marking, these slave patterns, and, just everything is so easy with Malagasy heritage to track down. If you're worried that you can't find any proof that you are Malagasy, do not worry, because you will see it. You will see it and you will know. I'm lucky, not lucky, blessed to have family members who actually cared about our heritage. I was just so blessed to have that. So don't give up. It's not like Native American heritage where you have to deep dive. You don't have to do all of that. It's not hard. It's so easy to find out if you're Malagasy because it's inside African American history, and it's so easy to find out. So we have reached the end of this video. I have an Instagram page called Malagasy Diaspora Descendants USA. Go follow. Malagasy, MALAGASY, Diaspora Descendants USA. Go follow, and maybe you can join the organization if you are a Malagasy descendant. I do require you to have DNA proof of being Malagasy because it just shows people how we have survived through slavery, and it's really important to show people that we are still here. You can also follow me on my personal Instagram. I don't mind. It's called Ancient Beauty Maya. And I have a jewelry page called ancient.couture, ancient couture. So yeah, till next time.